What up, YouTube? It's Two Fat Guys Pull Us, and before we get to our video, we wanted to let you know about our milestone giveaway for 1,000 subscribers.
We are giving away an Amazing Spider-Man issue number 4. This is the first appearance of Silk, the original Sin tie-in. I'm sure everybody is familiar with this book. This is a CBCS 9.8.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Big boy.
This book is much hotter than it was when we first bought it for the show.
Yep, that's true.
You insist on still giving it away, and I'm very happy to do it.
You can tell that he is not. But anyway, we are giving this away when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Kick-ass, key issue, first appearance of Silk, is someone's going to win this book. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's get to the video, shall we? Nate, isn't it curious that the most popular numbered pencil in the world, the number one pencil in the world,
it's a number 2.
Is a number 2 pencil?
I don't even know what that means. What's number 1 pencil?
So there's actually, the numbering of pencils is all based off the softness and the amount of lead that is in a pencil.
Oh.
1
so
being the softest and 4 being the hardest. Make a dirty joke.
Wow, I feel like we'd all be wanting the 4s. I feel like the harder the better for everyone involved.
In most cases, yes.
Okay. Well, apparently not the pencils.
I don't know how to end this, so let's start the show. What up, YouTube? It's Two Fat Guys Pull Us, and we've got another new Comic Book Day video for you for the week of November 9th. So close to Turkey Day. And yeah, this is a weird week. I think we got a lot of like penultimate issues in this week. It's weird. It's a weird week. There's maybe like 1, maybe 2 books that I'm really looking forward to, and everything else is kind of like, I don't want to say fluff, but I'm just not like, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I'm probably pretty much in the same. I think there's a lot of potentially really good books here, but we just don't know. And then there's a lot of books that are either delayed or
just haven't been out.
Just finally haven't been out for a while, and we saw that last week too. But let's see how it plays.
Yeah, it's all dependent on what's inside the book. So let's get it started. We're gonna kick it off with A.X.E Judgment Day Omega from Karen Gillan.
AKA issue 7.
Issue 7, the actual finale.
Issue 7.
Issue number 7. You know, as long as this cover is not a red herring, I think this will probably be the most impactful book out of the event for us, because we were so invested in the actual Eternals run from Karen Gillan. I think anybody else that's not as invested or just kind of read the event probably will skip this one. And, you know, the question I have is who cares? You know, it would appear that we're kind of putting the Eternals in a box and saying, like, you're going to go away now. And it's almost like, well, no, they were here. Like, we were like, oh, here they are. Now we're putting them away. And it's just like, well, just why did you even bring them out? You know?
Yeah. I think two different things show that this issue probably should have been, if anything, probably should have been Eternals Omega. I think this is the wrap up. I think this is a final coffin call for the Eternals, for Kieran Gillen's Eternals run. Not only does the solicitation only mention Eternals, but if you look at, if you do a little bit of sleuthing and see what issue this is collected in, this is not even collected in the main trade paperback for Judgment Day. This is in the Judgment Day companion trade paperback, along with Death of the Mutants, Eve of Judgment, Iron Fist, Star Fox, and the 2 Fantastic Four issues. So this is not even important enough to be included in the main trade paperback.
All right, well,
so
my hopes have gone down the drain.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You know, I would go ahead and say, if you're on the fence on this one, pick up one of these cool indie books we're about to talk about, and we'll review it and let you know.
Yeah, I would totally agree. All right, after that, we jump over to Amazing Spider-Man issue number 13, The Hobgoblin's Last Stand, and we have multiple Hobgoblins. You know, I'm kind of indifferent in this storyline. I'm just glad to be actually reading Spider-Man books. Ramita seems to be hit or miss lately. Like sometimes it's like, oh, these are actually pretty good, and then there's other times where I'm like, no, it's time. It's time to retire. But that being said, I'm just glad I'm back into an amazing Spider-Man book. But I will continue to push that Romita needs to be off the book. And I know we're getting that kind of soon, right? When we get into Dark Web.
We're getting that, yeah, after this issue. So
Okay.
enjoy this issue. This is going to be the last regular feeling issue where we're dealing with Zeb Wells' main storyline for quite a while.
Mm.
After this, we will be officially into Dark Web with a prelude. We will have one issue artist, Michael Doling. Then after that, it will be Ed McGuinness doing the Dark Web stuff. So for the foreseeable future, no more Junior after this issue.
I'm for it. All right. After that, we jump over to Jason Aaron's Avengers run number 62, and this is, I mean, it's supposed to be the last issue. I think it continues on to 63 and 64, but those are like tie-ins into his, this massive Avengers event that he's been building up since the beginning of his run. But we'll be, kind of concluding it with the first and original, 1 million BC Sorcerer Supreme. I'm just here to see it through. I'm not really enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying more his Avengers Forever run more than this, because this just feels very sloppy and very messy, much like this cover. I mean, it's gross, and this run has ended very gross. But who knows? Maybe it'll. No, it won't. I'm not going to even put a glimmer of hope on it. I'm sure it will end very messy and very disconjointed, and just being like, and go buy the event. That's probably how it'll feel. So,
unfortunately, that does seem most likely.
Mm-hmm. All right. After that, we got a little bit of glimmer of hope here, a new beginning, if you will. Fantastic Four #1 from North, and remind me of the artist's name.
Iban Cuolo.
If the interiors, I'm obviously not going to say the interiors are going to be anything like the cover. This is an amazing Alex Ross cover, but I am looking forward to this. But this will be a make or break. It's an issue 1. But there's been some doubt. I won't even say doubt. We're just the creative direction that North is going to take this book, and no pun intended, is short stories, short form, bits and pieces here. He's kind of said that he's not going to build this huge overarching story. We're just going to have some stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder if that was just his attempt to sort of placate the people that were upset with Dan Slott's run, or if it's going to be, I don't know, a shorter run, maybe like only a year, 12 issues sort of a thing.
Might be.
I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot because Fantastic Four obviously has a special place for me. And I super enjoy Cuolo's work. I think his interiors, I would consider him in the same demographic, style, and talent wise as RB Silva and Pepe Larraz and Cuculo and all of our Marvel House guys. So
anytime we get a basically a new version of Marvel House, I'm for it, So, I'm cautious but optimistic.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, after that, we have Steve Orlando's Marauders, issue number 8, with our first, I don't know if it's our first ever, but it would appear, I think, is our first Peach Momoko cover A.
Cover A. Feels weird. I like it.
I love it. Absolutely.
But it feels weird.
So this run has been absolutely fantastic. Orlando has been doing some crazy shit in this book. Going cosmic, diving deep into the mutant history, some that we may not even know. We're literally writing the history books in this book. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of fun. It's so impactful that Orlando actually has another book coming out soon that has to deal. I can't remember. It's in solicitations for January, which we need to do. But there's a book that he's writing that I could give two shits about, like in the sense of the characters, and because he's writing it, I'm like, I might actually give it a shot. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look at the solicitations, but
I'm not sure.
Orlando is starting to kind of creep up a little bit in my like fun writers that might actually break and get into like the top 10.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I actually need to catch up on this. I did not read the previous.
You would absolutely love it because this whole beginning of his arc has been dealing with the Shi'ar and their atrocities to
Yeah,
the
I
original
read the
mutants.
first arc. The only issue I missed on purpose was the Judgment Day tie-in.
Mm,
I accidentally missed issue 7, so
gotcha.
I
Well,
need to pick
I
that up while I pick
yeah,
this up.
got to get it. All right. After that, we jump over to Moon Knight issue number 17 from McKay. You know, every time this book comes up, it's been a blast. The annual was absolutely fun, and I think even issue 16 was super dope too. We were dealing with two ways to deal with a conflict, where Hunter's Moon was actually much more abrasive and more physical in trying to clean up this problem that Moon Knight has, and Moon Knight went more diplomatic, and we saw how that turned out. So we will see the ramifications of that in this issue. And again, this has been one of these like books that have just really have come out of nowhere since we started it, and it's continued that into 2022.
Yeah, and we've got standard artist Capuccio on here, and it looks like he's going to be on here through February. So it looks
Mm,
like we're going to have a nice long run of our main artist here too, which feels
dang, I
good.
love it. I love it. All right, after that, we jump over to Star
Mm.
Wars The High Republic, issue number 2. Issue number 1 was weird, but then it ended on a massive cliffhanger, and both of us were like, okay, like, we got to pick up issue 2.
Yeah.
Just because of, you know, how it was written, and it really threw us for a loop, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was my pick of the week for issue 1 when it came out, and this is definitely my most anticipated issue of the week here as well.
Okay.
When we start dealing with Jedi and start dealing with the religious notions and start creating political and religious intrigue with them, and then you add a murder mystery on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
where the narrator is the murderer and you didn't know it the whole time. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally on board, 100%. Very much looking forward to this
Yeah, and I remember the artwork being really good too. I was
issue.
not displeased when I saw the artwork, the interiors. It was really good. So, hey, I'm interrupting the video because I have something important to tell you. I know you know about our sub giveaway for 1,000 subscribers. This one right here. I know you know about that one because we talk about it all the time. But did you know we're giving away a slab at 750 subscribers? That's right. We're giving away this second printing of Silver Surfer Black, issue number 1 with Null on the cover when we hit 750 subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. Let's get back to the video. All right, let's jump over to DC with Batman v Robin, issue number 3. You know, the only intrigue I have for this is seeing the Bat family being the minions of Damian, and him just being brainwashed by the demon, the Nazari or whatever his name is. But that being said, I'm really over the Lazarus pits. I'm over this kind of fake controversy between these two because we know that, you know, Damien's being brainwashed. So what is this, a 4 or 5 issue mini?
This is a 4 issue.
Okay, so we're at the penultimate. So we've finally hit our penultimates. Seems like DC's in a lot of these penultimates this week, but I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, I will pick it up just to see the story through, but I'm not super into it, and I actually am like insanely turned off by this bat suit that Damien is wearing.
Oh, really?
It really irritates me. Yeah,
I actually kind of like it. That's just
I
me.
trench coat and it's like pulled over him and it's like way too big for him and it makes him look like a clown. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Okay, well, let's move on then. All right, after that, we have Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, issue number 6, an event that is purely not made for me and Nate and is made for the biggest of fanboys of DC, and that is okay. You're not reading this. I'm literally going to pick this book up, read it as fast as I can, get to the end, and then being like, and it's starting over. You know, like the DC universe is going to start over. I'm almost sure of it because it kind of started in issue 5 with the way they were introducing what's the main bad guy's name? Farah? The guy on the cover.
I know who you're talking about, but you messed me up. Just keep going, I'll tell you.
Anyway, it's pretty evident that we're gonna get a reset. I think we are. Is it gonna be a full on reboot of the DC comic universe? Time will tell. I'm sure it won't. You know, a lot of people are saying it's not going to be, but I'm holding out hope just because I put money on it. I just see it happening. I mean, everything at DC right now is in flux.
Pariah.
Pariah. That was close. everything is in flux, right? Their movies and their comics and their shows. And obviously there's a glimmer of hope coming, and this is kind of outside of the scope of this book, but there is some glimmer of hope for DC. We'll just have to wait and see. But as for this event, it is not made for new readers. It's not made for people that don't really know or are not deep within the DC continuity. I've talked too much about this book. I'm going to move on.
Yes, thank you.
All right, our last DC book of the night, I believe, and this is The Nice House on the Lake issue, or book number 11, the penultimate issue in James Tynion the Fourth's, little horror sci-fi mystery here. Started out strong, and then we had hiatus after hiatus to the point where we're both kind of, again, ready for the book to end, and it's only because of those hiatuses. I think the flow of the book really just got messed up with whatever it was that kept the book continuously going, whether that's Substack or independent books or just time off. I feel like it's definitely damaged the reputation of the story.
Yeah, I think one of the really big things is that the industry as a whole, not as a whole, but a ton of people are starting to do the Hickman thing, and like we're writing for the trade, and like we're doing these overarching stories, and like all this. It's so intricate and so tied in that it's like, okay, do that, but don't you fucking dare miss one single issue, because when you do, you fuck the whole thing up. 1 month is long enough to try to keep up with everything that's going on while you're reading things too. But like, no, like you put 4 months in between there, and it's just especially unplanned, and it's just you're not going to keep up. And so we're on issue 11, but this series has been out for I think 18 months now, and so it's like, okay, we've had so much gappage in there that I'm still not recovering from the last one.
I mean, the last issue, book 10, was actually really cool, and I remember being like, "Oh shit!" But after it, I was like, "But wait, like how long?" And we actually haven't had that much of a divide between the two books. I don't believe between 10 and 11, right?
Just 2 months.
2 months, but
And it was 2 months before that, and then
right, yeah,
6 months.
That's the 6 months one is the one that kind of broke the camel's back. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Unless this book has just the biggest hook at the end, I agree with you. I think it's diminished. The value of it is diminished. I will say, we kind of talked about it last week on our live show last Sunday, with Dark Knights of Steel. I think I would have said the same thing about that book, except for that ending. I literally just sat in my room and I was like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? And like, but it would have been even more impactful, and I said this last week, if it hadn't had the hiatus that it had, I think it would have felt much more fluid. And I even told you, I think that book is going to obviously read way better collected, but it's very unfortunate for somebody that's picking up the floppies and trying to read month and after month after month, and it's like, I'm taking a break. It just sucks.
Just to give people a little bit of maybe an easier explanation of what we're talking about too. Issue number 6 of this story came out in November 2021. So in 12 months, technically 13 months, from November to November, we've gone from issue 6 to 11.
Yeah, no.
In 13 months. So 5 issues in 13 months is really hard to keep up. Really hard to keep up.
Yeah, and I know we're being nitpicky, but I think it matters. It totally matters. I think that's why we have the show. What we're talking about. All right, let's move on to our independents. We're going to kick it off with Aftershocks: A Calculated Man number 4, and this is the last book in the little mini. Huh?
It is, and we had a little bit of a delay too. It was like we pushed a week, and ended up being 2 months. But I'm glad it's here. This has been a really great series so far. Issue 3 took a slight dip, so I'm hoping, since this is the last issue, we'll go out with a bang.
Right.
But overall, great book. Super looking forward to it.
Okay. Can't ask for any more. All right. As we always do, we continue with our Aftershocks. I'm going to start that over. That was a weird way to say that. I'm thrown off by your demon, baby. Okay. All right, next up from Aftershock, we have Samurai Doggy, issue number 3. Issue 2 was a big disappointment for both of us, and I believe this book also may have been pushed a little bit. And so I think we both have stated that we are going to pick up 3, but with a huge caveat in the sense that we will be opening the book and looking inside of it, and if it is continuing to diverge from issue 1, which was super badass samurai doggy getting revenge for his family, and we're going to continue down this like we don't know if this is a side character robot thing, I'm out. And it remains to be seen if it'll be on the show, so it's going to have to stand the test of it being opened and looked at the shop. And if it looks like we're diverging more, this book is done.
Yeah.
There's not much else we can say about it, so we're just gonna keep moving on. All right, from Boom Studios, but put on your speculation glasses. We got Specs issue number 1 from Boom. You know the drill. New number 1. Gotta pick it up, even if you're not gonna read it. Put it in a Mylar because there's a potential of it being turned into a show. So, let me know about this book. Why outside of that should I pick up Specs?
Well, the reason why I'm picking it up is because it's horror and because it's Chris Sheehan. So we were just talking about Chris Sheehan 2 weeks ago with the double feature Nightmare Halloween book. He's also did the art on the first arc of House of Slaughter and Autumnal. So very seasoned horror veteran, I would say, in my opinion. So as soon as I saw his name on the book, along with, of course, Boom number 1, I was right there. It also just seems like a classic take on a horror. Like they're going to do a little bit of their own spin on it, though. The essential premise is that a couple of misfit teens mail order a pair of X-ray glasses and realize that they might have received much more than they bargained for. Small town Ohio. The world is turned upside down when the magic spectacles they receive unlock a world of possibilities.
Interesting.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But again, Boom Studios, horror, Chris Sheehan, I'm totally on board.
Yeah, I might have to pick this. Well, I'm going to pick it up, but I might actually read it. We'll see.
Nice.
All right, we're going to end the night with Do a Powerbomb, issue number 6 from Image Comics and Daniel Warren Johnson. Sad to say, this is the penultimate issue.
Mm-hmm.
Last issue, we were like, whoa, wait, what's going on? Like there was just a lot of, I would say, answers, but also a lot of questions being asked in issue number 5. The identity of Rose's partner, who was her father, was revealed to her. So like, we got some shit going on, but they also lost the tournament. So like, where do we go from here? We have 2 issues left. I gotta think, and I have a lot of confidence in Daniel Warren Johnson that he will match my expectations, if not exceed it. Mm-hmm. Because I was worried at the end of issue 5. I was like, wait, the tournament's over. So I got to assume that it's going to be more bombastic and more outrageous because I can't see him flatlining issue 6 and 7. I just can't.
No. And I think he's got a pretty good track record to prove that he's going to land it.
Also, this cover's fire. Like, it's fucking fire.
That's great.
So I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Potential pick of the week. Just going to say it now. This is what it is.
Definitely Star Wars.
Well, I know. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's New Comic Book Day video for the week of November 9th. Let us know down in the comments. Do you like my baby face? I'm just kidding. Let us know down in the comments. What are you picking up today? Shut up, Nate. What are you picking up today? What are you going to read first? What's your potential pick of the week? And did we miss anything? There are a ton of books that come out every week, and we can't get to them all. We're not like some of these other YouTube channels that just read everything under the sun, but we try really hard. But let us know, did we miss anything? As always, smash that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like, and we will see you guys this Sunday for another live issue of Two Fat Guys Pull Us here, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time here on YouTube. And we will talk about all these comics and more. And we will hang out, we'll chill, maybe we'll drink some beers. I feel like we need to like, you know what I mean? Maybe we should, that's our homework. Outside of reading these books, we need to bring a unique liquid or beverage to drink on the show.
Deal. I can do that for sure.
And we encourage anyone else who is of age, legal age, to do the same and let us know in chat what you're drinking while we
or maybe a nice tea or decaf
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah. Maybe, maybe a pre-game sleepy time tea. That's always good. But anyway, we will see you guys here this Sunday. And as always, fam, read more comics and be kind to one another.